Let me tell you about sleep paralysis. It's a terrifying experience. Imagine waking up in the dead of night. You're conscious, but you can't move a muscle. You can't speak. It's like being buried alive in your own body. That's sleep paralysis. Your mind is awake, but your body is still stuck in dreamland. This strange phenomenon sits at the edge of sleep and wakefulness. It's a neurological quirk, a short circuit in the system. Usually when we dream, our bodies are paralyzed. This prevents us from acting out our dreams. But sometimes this paralysis lingers as we wake up. The result? A terrifying state of utter helplessness. Sleep paralysis is more common than you might think. Millions of people experience it. I'm one of them. It's a bizarre and unsettling experience. It can leave you shaken. It can make you question your sanity. My first encounter with sleep paralysis was unforgettable. I was a teenager. I woke up in the middle of the night. Something was wrong. I couldn't move. I tried to call out, but no sound came out. Panic surged through me. What was happening? The feeling was like being trapped in concrete. I was completely immobilized. My heart pounded in my chest. I felt a weight on my chest, suffocating me. I was gasping for air. It felt real. Terrifyingly real. Then came the hallucinations. A shadowy figure emerged in the corner of my room. It was tall and indistinct, its eyes glowing in the darkness. I wanted to scream, to run, to do anything to escape, but I was frozen, helpless. The experience lasted what felt like an eternity. Finally the paralysis lifted. The shadowy figure vanished. I gasped for air, my body trembling with terror. I had just experienced my first episode of sleep paralysis, and it left me deeply shaken. Over time, the sleep paralysis episodes continued. They became more frequent, more intense. The hallucinations morphed and intensified, each one more terrifying than the last. The shadowy figure became a recurring theme. I began to dread falling asleep, not knowing what awaited me on the other side of consciousness. Sometimes I felt a crawling sensation on my skin. Tiny insects seemed to be crawling all over me. Other times I heard voices, whispers just at the edge of my hearing. They spoke of threats and dangers. Their words were laced with malice. One recurring hallucination was particularly unsettling. I called him the Hat Man. He was a tall, shadowy figure in a wide-brimmed hat. His face was obscured by darkness, but I could feel his gaze upon me. It was a gaze filled with malice, with evil. These hallucinations were incredibly vivid. They felt real in every sense of the word. The fear they instilled in me was primal, visceral. It was the fear of the unknown, of the unseen, amplified 1,000-fold. The episodes became a living nightmare. I would wake up paralyzed, my heart pounding, my breath coming in ragged gasps. The hallucinations became more elaborate, more terrifying. The fear was all-consuming. It was like being trapped in a horror film. One particularly terrifying episode involved the Hat Man. He stood over me, his presence filling me with dread. He reached out a long, shadowy hand towards me. I braced myself, expecting the worst, but instead of touching me, he began to whisper. His voice was a low, guttural growl. He spoke of things I couldn't understand, of ancient evils and impending doom. His words seemed to seep into my very being, filling me with a sense of profound dread. I thrashed against the invisible bonds that held me captive, but it was no use. I was completely at his mercy. The experience left me shaken to my core. It was becoming clear that these weren't just bad dreams. This was something far more sinister. I knew I had to do something. This wasn't normal, this wasn't right. I started researching, desperate for answers. I learned that sleep paralysis is a real condition, often accompanied by hallucinations. Knowing this provided a sliver of comfort. I wasn't going crazy. I learned about the science behind it, the disrupted sleep cycles, the neurological misfires. But understanding the science didn't make the experience any less terrifying. I tried changing my sleep habits. I made sure I was well rested. I tried relaxation techniques. I even experimented with different sleeping positions. Sometimes it helped, sometimes it didn't. The fear remained. It lingered in the back of my mind. It cast a long shadow over my nights, the fear of that moment when my mind would awaken and my body wouldn't. I wish I could say that understanding sleep paralysis made it go away. It didn't. The fear is still there. It lurks in the shadows of my mind, waiting for the moment when I'm most vulnerable. When the line between sleep and wakefulness blurs, and the monsters in my mind are free to roam. The feeling of helplessness is perhaps the worst part. The knowledge that you're completely at the mercy of your own mind, Unable to move, to speak, to defend yourself, it's a primal fear. You're trapped in your own personal horror film. The director is your subconscious. The monster is your own fear. And the worst part, you know the sequel is only a night's sleep away. Sleep paralysis is more than just a bad dream. It's a visceral experience. It's terrifying, it's real, and it's more common than you think. If you've experienced it, you're not alone. Knowledge is power. Understanding sleep paralysis can help alleviate some of the fear, but it doesn't erase the terror entirely. I still experience sleep paralysis. It's a part of me now. A shadow that follows me into the darkness. But I've learned to live with it, to manage it, to face my fears head on. The monsters in my mind may never truly disappear, but I refuse to let them control me.